want to know what makes love grow? What makes love grow? It's half of your deen, said the Prophet, peace be on him. Half of your deen. It's part of Islam, increasing your iman. Half of our deen. Half our deen.com.
People often ask me, what inspired you to start these videos? It was after years of sitting in one Jummah khutbah after another, and hearing the same topics recycled over and over and over and over again. While at the same time wondering why so many topics went under the radar. For all the khatibs who watch this show, the ummah is sleeping. Some of them are literally sleeping at Jummah. Knocked out. I mean, 2 rounds with Mike Tyson during his prime, knocked out, snoring away. Yeah, like that. They basically wake up for 2 occasions. One is when someone stands up and says, please move forward, we need to make room for the people who are late for Jummah. And a lot of people are late for Jummah. And 2, when it's time for Salah. Joke! Ever since these videos started to get popular, I started getting invited to events to go speak and perform. And I can only imagine, as a speaker, what it would be like if I lost the attention of my audience. Let alone if their eyes are closed and their heads are down. And as a speaker, you see these things. So sometimes you wonder, does the khatib see what we're seeing? I know they're seeing what we're seeing. People are sleeping. I mean, if you haven't noticed, the guy to my left and the guy to my right are catching their Z's while you're talking. And this is Jummah. And we're in the middle of the day. And if you notice these people who are sleeping, they're not even leaning on anything. They're sleeping sitting straight up. And you've only been talking for 7 minutes. 7 minutes! The very fact that people are getting their power naps during Jummah is saying something. And that something is, the khutbah is boring. Boring. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Islam is boring. In fact, Islam is very interesting. The problem is the person often giving the khutbah either has poor communication skills or is talking about something that's not relative to the audience, which makes it very difficult to concentrate. The other week at Jummah, the khatib told us, if you see a dead goat on the side of the road, don't eat it. What? I'm thinking to myself, bro, we live in Los Angeles, there's no dead goats. The only goats we have is at the petting zoo. And they're alive. Come on, people. Out of the hundreds of topics, this is what we're going to talk about? Joke! Joke! I mean, how many times have we heard a khutbah about wudu? I mean, seriously, in about 15 minutes, we're going to start praying. So if you don't know how to make wudu, you're going to be in trouble. And none of these khutbahs, they are very difficult to listen to. Specifically, the reading khutbah. You know, as when someone prints out a khutbah and decides to read it, oftentimes they don't even seem interested in the khutbah they're reading. Assalamu alaikum, brothers. In Islam, communication is very important. And the way we communicate to each other can make a very big difference in... The way we communicate can make a very big difference. But the toughest khutbahs for me to listen to are the ones which don't seem to have a point. My dear respected brothers and sisters, you know, Muslims, we must be good, not bad. Huh? And because being bad is not good, and being yourself is like being human, because we are all human beings, and human beings are different than jinn. Huh? Aqim as-salah. I'm thinking to myself, what? I mean, how relative is this topic? It doesn't happen. No, seriously, it doesn't happen. Whoa! Is that a dead coat? Bro, do we got a dead coat? Put it in the trunk, because we got dinner tonight, bro. We got dinner. No, it doesn't happen. Honestly, I have to admit, sometimes I myself fight to stay awake during Jummah. Anyways, for years I've been sitting in Jummah, and I wish I could say something. But since you're not supposed to talk during the khutbah, I haven't said anything. And since I didn't want the khatib to take it personal, I wasn't sure how to confront him. I realized the problem wasn't local, it was global. And for many people, Jummah was becoming more of a ritual than a religious act. I couldn't hold it inside anymore. I felt like I had to say something. So I got a camera, sat in a chair, pressed the record button, and started talking about the many things that I wasn't hearing in Jummah. At first, I had no idea if anyone was going to watch these videos. But in a short amount of time, a few thousand became a few 100,000, and now we have a few million video views. Actually, over 5 million video views. And this is not because I'm a great speaker or anything like that. Actually, there's so many people that are far more knowledgeable than me. But what I try to do different is to communicate in a way that people would listen. And at the same time, talk about the issues that was relative to them. And for all the khatibs who are watching, and on behalf of all my Muslim brothers and sisters, please talk about issues that are relative to us. You see, most of us have heard the cycle of topics of Ramadan, dhikr, salah, wudu, hajj, Ramadan, dhikr, salah, wudu, hajj. And we are ready to move on to the many issues that are being ignored. Most of these issues are very limited because they're just between you and your creator or you and yourself. But what about the issues that deal with you and other people? Those are the things we really need to talk about. I have some suggestions to spice up Jummah a little bit. It's from my little list that I call, you won't hear that at Jummah. If I got $1 for each time someone came late to Jummah, spoke during Jummah, and then wasn't even wearing clean clothes to Jummah, man, I'll be rich! Rich! And what about the Salam brothers who come to Jummah? You know the Salam people are, who will go around saying, Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum, to everybody during Jummah? Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Or better yet, what about the people who do everything at Jummah except listen to the khutbah? Other than the sleepers, you have whispering, saying text messages, people making phone calls, answering phone calls. Some people even reading. There's no reading during the khutbah. So my suggestion is the topic, the etiquettes of Jummah. But that's unlikely because you won't hear that at Jummah. Most of the people who come to Jummah are usually men who work or men who deal with some type of business. When it comes to dealing with non-Muslims, brothers seem to be very professional and pay everything on time. But when it comes to our Muslim brothers, it's kind of like, oh brother, we'll pay you one day. You're either going to overcharge the guy or underpay him. Joke! So how about a khutbah about the business practices in Islam? Actually, that might be very relevant, and that sounds like a great idea, but you won't hear that at Jummah. Okay, so most people are married, or they're going to get married, so there's a lot of important stuff they need to know. So how come we never talk about the issues about like what Islam says about sex, and what is allowed, what is not allowed? I mean, these people can get married. He said sex. Sex. Yes, I said sex. How do you think you came into this world? You think like your parents just picked you up from a hospital? I like that one right there. That looks like me. We'll take this one, please. No, they didn't. You see, Islam is a complete way of life. From the way we eat, to the way we go to the bathroom, to even what happens in the bedroom. Guys, so what about a topic about Islam and intimacy? And what Islam allows and doesn't allow and all that kind of stuff. You know, I think you're onto something. That's definitely a very important issue, but you won't hear that at Jummah. Oftentimes we hear about being good to your neighbors and some of the rights your neighbors have upon you. But what are those rights? You see, most of us don't know. So how about a topic about rights of neighbors? You know what? That's actually a pretty good idea, but you won't hear that at Jummah. Actually, there's so many different topics. How about a khutbah about how converts are treated before their shahada and after their shahada? You won't hear that at Jummah. How about just one khutbah about adab? You won't hear that at Jummah. The rights of children in Islam. You won't hear that at Jummah. And the list goes on and on and on. Many people who watch these videos are people who give khutbahs. So why not let's try to get these videos out to them? And what I mean is, what we'll do is we'll post these videos on websites, blogs, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Maybe inshallah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills, it'll reach the eyes and the ears and maybe even the hearts of those who have the microphone during Jummah. I know I'm not alone when I say I want what's best for this ummah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for your efforts, and I hope we all can get some hasanat out of this, inshallah. This is Ali reminding you just in case you forgot. This is Ali reminding you just in case you forgot.
Do you want to know What makes love grow? What makes love grow? It's half of your deen, said the Prophet, peace be on him. Half of your deen. It's part of Islam, increasing your iman. Half of our deen. Half our deen.com.